This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, so let's get started now. So in the last class, we have worked on validations, right? So what are the different types of validations we have?
Validate,
Client-side
invalidate.
validation. Yeah, and server-side validation. So what are the rules we have for client-side? And what are the rules we have for server-side? So we have edit validate, so which is a client-side validation, and we use obj validate, so for server-side validation. Okay. So the best practice is, so we can, so we need to configure both client-side and server-side, so that user cannot ignore by providing the valid data. Okay. And so where we can invoke the obj validate. So in the interviews, they will ask, in that way. So in what are the places we can invoke? So we created, so we created obj validate and we invoked in the flow action, right? And so we can also invoke in the activity by using obj validate method. Okay. So sometimes, let's say you invoke the post processing activity, and so you can call this obj validate there, so that will be validated. Okay. So let's say I invoke, so we invoked pre-processing activity and validate.
Sometimes your voice is breaking.
Okay. Otherwise, so can you hear me properly? Vinod?
Yes, Satya.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we invoked obj validate in the flow action as well as the pre-processing activity, right? So the pre-processing activity will be executed first. Okay, that's very important. So we can invoke obj validate in the flow action. So where we can invoke, activities or data transform in the pre-processing as well as post-processing. So first, while executing the screen itself, the pre-processing rules will be executed. Then once you click on submit, the validation rule and post-processing activity will be executed. Okay. So what are the activity methods? So we worked on so far. So obj open, obj browse, we use obj save.
OBJ save. Yeah.
Yeah, so these are the obj methods we worked so far, right? So we have a one more method called obj open by handle. Okay, so what obj open does? Yeah, it fetches a single record
Single record.
based on the class level primary key, right?
Yeah.
So here, so obj open by handle is also fetch a single record, but it is based on the instance handle. Okay, put it in obj open by handle. Use it to fetch a single record based on the instance handle. So use it to fetch a single record from the database to clipboard. So that is common, like when you use obj, so it fetch the data from database to the clipboard. So here instance handle is nothing but the pj dynamis key. So this property will be available for all the internal classes. So while we were using obj browse, so we have unchecked the key, right? The checkbox. So that is external class. So when we create data class, so which is does not belongs to the class group, right? So these are all becomes external classes, not internal classes. So for internal classes, you will have a pgdns key, whereas for external classes, you will not see either pgdns key or pxobj class. Okay, so let me show you some examples here. So every time when you create work item, so these will be referred from these classes, right? Like, so this this is belongs to the work class. When you execute auto loan item, so that will be belongs to auto loan class. So these are internal classes, so which these corresponding tables stores work items. So now if we go to the clipboard and observe the py workplace, you will find pj dynasty. Okay, so which is the combination of the class and the primary key value. So what is the PYID here? So this is the one, C-237 and date. So if you see the PJ Dynasty key, so this is combination of the instance, class and primary key value. So we'll have, so we have a lot of internal classes. If you go to the any class, you will see that primary key value and that instance class. Okay. So PJ Dynasty is nothing but, yeah, instance class, and you will have some space, okay, single space, and the primary key value, not a primary key, it's the primary key value. So in this case, it is simply pxobj class and pyid. So now see here, so this class pxobj class, you will see pnc loans work. Just give me 1 second. Sorry. Yeah, so here you will see a property called pxobj class. Where is that? So that is instance class. And so you see the primary key, that is so pyid, right? And this combination is called PJ dynasty. So this is the unique across the system. So now let's say, so we have a key, let's say C-1. That can be primary key of some other class also, right? So either it can be, so primary key of customer details or employee details and work class, it can be a primary of any class. But if you look at class as well as key, then the same thing will not be, same will not be available for other class. Means like, this is the unique across the system. Okay. So the class and primary key value is the unique across the system. Clear? So if you use the obj open, you will take only the primary key value, right? You will pass, let's say C-1, you will get the corresponding record. So where you will be passing class, and it will check whether that value exists in that class. Okay. So if you know the PJ dynasty key, so we can use obj open by handle and we can pass this thing. Okay, so while we are going to work on the case management, so where we'll have the relationship between the parent and child. So where sometimes in order to access the parent case or child case, so we pass so PZ-INS keys. Okay, so now mostly when it's compared to OBJ open, so we use OBJ open by handle mostly. Okay, so in some cases, let's say so you need to update the bulk data. So we have let's say customer details available in the database, and so we need to update let's say company name for all the customers. Okay, so we use OBJ browse to fetch all the records from the database to clipboard, and we'll have all the details available on the clipboard. So you just need to process one by one. So where you need to use the loop, take the first record and update. Okay, and then it will loop to the second record, then it will update like each record. Okay, so in that case, so you will have the PZ-INS key available on the pages, on the instances on the clipboard, and we take that PZ-INS key and we pass to the OBJ open by handle. Okay, so if it is external class, so you can take the primary key, so where you can use OBJ open, but you will not see the PZ-INS key there. Okay, so now let's work on some some scenarios using OBJ open by handle. Okay, so this is the internal class, right? So that's the reason you see PZ-INS key. Now similarly, all operators are belongs to the some class. So if we create something here, so that will be stored in the database table, right? Obviously, that means here in the PRPC will have a corresponding class. Okay, so if you see the current operator, so this operator is also belongs to the some class. What is that? Data admin operator ID. So we can create multiple operators, right? So every time when you create operator, so that will be stored in some database table. That table is one which is connected to this class. Let's say I don't know the table of this. Okay, so how can you find it? You type data admin operator ID here, or you can search also. Okay, and yeah, right click definition. Yes, so here, so this is concrete or abstract? Obviously
Concrete.
only, right? So otherwise you will not see even table, and you will not see this option, right? So this is connected to PR underscore operators. Okay, so that means like every time when you create a operator, so that will be stored in the PR underscore operators table in the database. Okay, and so here we have a primary key, that is PY user identifier. So now let's say if you want to update all the operators, so all the developer operators of this application, just I want to update title or let's say position. Okay, so we created multiple operators here, developer operators. Okay, and so I want to update the job title through activity. Okay, so let's say if there are 30 operators or 40, so we cannot open each operator and update it, right? So it can be different also, but let's say if you want to update some common data. Okay, so what we need to do is, so we need to fetch all the operators, then update it. So if you want to update the existing record, you must need to bring it to the clipboard. So you cannot update directly by using OBJ. Okay, so now let's say Okay, you note down this point. Operators are instances of the class data admin operator ID. That means, so whatever the operators you create, those will be stored in the corresponding table. Okay. So now let's say, what is the primary key here? Here primary key is py user identifier. So for work class it is pyd, right? So but for this class it is py user identifier. So every class will have a separate key. And so I have a operator ID, let's say admin @ PNC. And now you tell me, so what will be the PZ DNS key for this? Yeah. So data admin operator ID and admin @ PNC, the primary key value. Okay. So here py user identifier is admin @ PNC, which will be the unique. So let's say you created operator with this admin @ PNC, and again you cannot create with the same name, right? Okay, this will be the unique across the system. So PJ DNS key will be here data admin operator ID admin @ PNC. Let's say we have some other operator PNC dev1. So it will be data admin operator ID PNC dev1, something like that. Okay, clear? So now our requirement is, so we need to update the title of each developer, only developer, not manager or user. Okay, so on what basis we can identify, so he is uh, developer or manager, like that? Yes, access group, right? So for developers we have PNC loans administrators. So if you look at managers, we'll have some other access group, right? So, and we need to update this, so we need to identify this property. Okay, so here we have a live UI, so we'll be discussing about this later. Just so if you want to know what property is being used, just you take the live UI and put here. So this is the property called py username, py position, like that. So even if you can find in other way, like you put some value, go to the clipboard, and so based on that value you can identify property. So let's say I don't know what property being used here, and I don't know about live UI. So what you need to do, let's say system architect. I will update like this and save it and go to the clipboard. This is admin @ PNC, right? So you can find here also. Where we can find that, go to the data admin operator ID, system architect. So what is the property? Py position. So you can find in this way also. Or take live UI. This is to identify UI elements. Okay, and put the cursor, and you will find it. Okay. So now let's work on some scenario. So update the position of all the developers in the PNC application. Is mobile. Update the position of all the PNC developers. So we are not invoking anywhere, just like we will create standalone activity, and if we run that, so it has to update. Okay, so you can create in any class. Let's create under data admin operator ID itself. Okay, so here we'll be creating an activity, so which fetch the operators and update the position. Okay, yeah, so let's create an activity called update operators.
Hello Satya, can we create the same activity
Yeah,
work
in the
class?
work class also you can create it.
Okay.
Okay, so here the primary will be data admin operator ID. So wherever we are creating it. So if you create in the work class, so work class will be primary, but you need to define so patient classes. So here, yeah, so what is the method? We have to fetch all the operators, OBJ browse, right? So and here we'll be putting some conditions, because if you use OBJ browse without condition, then it will fetch all the operators in the system, even other application operators also, but we don't want that. Okay, let's operator details, let's put the page, and here, so we don't need to remove it, is an internal class. Okay, so now let me show you. So if you go to the country details, so this is external class. So is mapped to the table, something in customer data. This is an OBJ external class. So still, like we have since we have the class reference, so we can still use OBJ methods, and we can use other methods also, RDB. Okay, so this is the internal. So this is the internal class, right? Data admin operator ID. So you will have the page INS key generated on each page. Gopi, అర్థమవుతుందా? So whenever we use OBJ browse, so we need to pass the mandatory parameters, right? So the page name. So after fetching the records, on which page it has to put. The same way how we use, country, state, and city. And the class, what we need to pass? Data admin operator ID. So from where we are fetching the operator IDs. So if it is a country, we are, so we need to pass the country details data class. Okay. Clear? And so here, if you run this, you will get all the operators, but we don't want that. So we want only developer operators. Okay. So on what conditions we can put here? PY access group. So we have a property called PY access group, which contains access group of operator. So is equivalent to, let's say if you want to pass this as a parameter, so you can define a parameter, and so while executing the activity, we can pass it. Okay. So now let's hard code it. Later we can convert into the parameter. You need to put in double quote. Okay. And so, and we need to use the properties which you want. Let's say I want primary key, PY user, identifier, and PZ minus key will be retrieved always. Okay. So let's execute now. So if you want other properties, you can use. This is just to fetch the records. And we will take the PZDNS key of each operator and we'll fetch that corresponding record. So how many operators we have? Okay, PZDNS key is not coming by default, so you need to include that. Okay, so include PZDNS key as well. Okay, so now let's execute it. Go to the clipboard. What is the page? Operator details. So we have PZDNS key in the first page. So this is operator 1, admin@PNC PZDNS key, the instance class and the primary key value. So if you look at PXL sub2, the class is same and operator ID is different. So if we have 10 different operators, so you will see the PZDNS key in this format. So now can't we use this to fetch this record? So we know the PZDNS key, and so we need to loop through each page of this. Okay, so here we need to use the loop. Clear so far? So now use the second step. So after executing the first step, so you will have all the operator details in the clipboard. So now what you can do is, so for each embedded page, so for each page of page list, so when you use for each embedded page, you need to use the step page. So that is operator details dot pxl. So you need to define here, or you can put primary dot pxl. Okay, not primary. Okay, so let's define here operator details is code pegalist, right? So you need to define in the same way the clipboard structure, the same format of clipboard. The defined page will be created by referring to the code pegalist and pxls, and so this will be data admin operator. Okay, so let's say country details code pegalist, country details dot pxls, and that's corresponding class, right? The similar. So now here, so whenever you use for each embedded page, you must need to define step page as it should be page list. Okay, so let's say if you put only operator details, it is not a page list, it is a page, right? So it will throw an error. So when you use it with for each block, the step page should reference a list or group. So it must be either page list or group. So now we will not see this first error. Okay, clear? Invalid value for data admin operator spelling is wrong, right? Okay, so now so we already use for each embedded page or not? Where we use this scenario? I think we use somewhere, right? We used or not? Think somewhere. Okay, yeah, so when we use for each embedded pages, so if you want to look through the page list or page group mostly. Okay. So we have, this is for especially only list and group. Okay. So if you want to loop through the list of pages in the page list, or if you want to loop through the page group, so we have a page group, and inside that we have a 10 different pages. So if you want to loop through each page, so you need to use that. Okay. So, and we have some other options also. Mostly we use for each embedded page, because we use mostly page list only. Okay. For each top level page, we never use that. That is like it will go to the clipboard and it will take each page, each top level page. So you will not have any scenario to update all the clipboard pages. Okay. So for each element in value list, this is the separate property type. So value list, which contains the single value property can contain multiple values. So that will be covered later. Similarly, for each elements in value group. Okay. So and for loop, so it is same like how for loop works in traditional programming languages. If you use for loop, so here we need to specify minimum value, max value, and let's say each time it has to increment 1. Okay, so this will loop exactly for 10 times. Okay, so if you increment 2, then so minimum 1, then it will be 3, then 5. It will execute 5 times or 6 times based on that. Okay, so if you want to loop through the fixed number of times, okay, you can use this. Fixed number of times means, so you need to define minimum value and max value. But the for each embedded page is not like that. So it will exactly loop through the times, like it depends on the page list instances. So let's say if we have 10 pages in the page list, it will exactly loop through 10 times. And if you are not putting any precondition like that, so if you put precondition, then based on that it will execute it. So sorry, even if you put precondition, it will exactly loop through those many times. But like so I want to update only for certain operators in this case. So you can put the precondition, and if that condition is satisfied, then only it will update. Otherwise, it will exit from iteration. Okay, clear? So, but mostly 99.5 times we use for each embedded page only the real-time applications. In some cases, we use for loop if you want to loop through the fixed number of times. Okay, and so value list, value groups. So these also we don't use frequently. Clear? Any questions so far? So if you use each embedded page, you need to define page list or group. That we did. And so now, so we can add a child. So mostly, when we select loop or each embedded page, so we use this child. That means inside this loop, it will these steps will be executed. Okay. So now, so what I do here is I will take the PZ dynasty. So this, if you don't specify, then this will be pixel. Pixels will be a primary. That means while looping for the first time, it will take the pixels of 1. So pixels of 1 will be a primary when it loops for the first time. Okay. So pixels are operator details dot pixels of 1 dot. What is the property? PZ dynasty, right? Clear? And we are assigning it to some parameter. Let's say param dot p. What does mean? While looping for the first time, it will take the pixels of one PZ dynasty and will be assigned to the parameter. So now we need to fetch this corresponding instance from the database. So what is the method we can use here? So now we know the PZ dynasty of pixels of 1, and in order to update it, we must need to fetch it. So now which method we can use to fetch this corresponding record?
Open by
OBJ
handle.
open by handle, right? Now what we do here is, so we'll create a separate page, let's say update operator. Take this, and this class will be also same data admin operator, right? Clear this point? So we are creating a new page, and we fetch the the corresponding record and put on this page. So here we use OBJ open by handle. Okay. What we need to pass param dot key. So that means like we are passing the pz diagnosis key. Because so here you will have a different page. So without capturing it to the param, so you have to put like operator details dot pxls of current. You can put that. So that will be little complex to understand. So the simply what you can do is just take pz diagnosis key and assign it to some parameter and use that parameter and pass that parameter to the OBJ open by handle. Okay, so instance handle will be data admin operator ID and admin of PNC. So it will fetch that corresponding record and put on this page. Sorry, we need to use update operator. Same page. Clear? So now, so what we are updating? So we are updating the position of operator. Okay, so how can we do that? Which method we need to use? Karthik? So I want to update the position of the operator, the first operator, let's say. Since it is in loop, so it will go through all the operators and it will update it, the same value. Okay. So if you want to update something, what method you use? Property set, right? If I ask, what is the method to assign the values to the property, then you will tell. So it is not like that, right? So now on this page, you will have all the operator details. If the position already available, so then it will be replaced. If not, then it will assign, right? So we are updating on the same page. Py position. Let's say what is the value? Let's say I'm putting system architect. So this is kind of hard coding, right? So you can use this, you can pass as a para. Let's say, pass the operator ID, what position you want to update for that also you can, pass dynamically. Okay, so you use, create this as a standalone activity and define the params in the parameter tab. And every time when you execute it, it will expect the parameters. Let's say operator ID and this position, right? So whatever the operator ID you pass the on position, that will update for that particular operator. Okay, so here if you put like for all the operators, so it will update the same position, right? Any question? So now, so what is the method we need to use next? It has to be saved, right, permanently in the database.
OBJ save.
Exactly. So OBJ save right now. Okay, and let's say if you are not using the right now, so we have a method called commit. So we can also use the commit method. So commit is used to commit the data into the database. So with the, so you need to use OBJ save, then commit. So if you are not using obj save, then commit it will not. So what it does is, so obj save without right now is like a default save that will be saved when commit happen, right?
Satya,
Clear?
is it update operator?
Sorry,
Update operator or operator
I'm
step
not
page?
getting. Okay, sorry, the same, right? Update operators. Okay, like this. Any question?
Satya, can you explain one more time all this?
Yeah. So
On the
mostly we see if you are able to understand this concept, so it will be easy in the real-time application. So mostly why so we'll have a lot of scenarios in this way. So fetching records from the database and updating. Okay. So if you understand this, and you can use any class like either work class or whatever it, and approach will be the same. Okay. So use obj browse and use the obj open by handle, pass the parent as a key, and update whatever the details you want and save it. That's it, right? So here our requirement is we need to update all the operators. So whatever it, okay. So in order to do that, so we need to fetch all the operators to the clipboard. Okay. So why can't we update by fetching each time the single record? So let's say if you are not using this obj browse, if you use obj open or obj open by handle at when you execute an activity, so it will update only one operator, so it cannot update multiple operators. So if there are hundreds of operators, then you need to execute the activity those many times. So it should not be the case, right? So you should be able to update all the operators at a time. Okay, so that's the reason we are fetching all the operators to the clipboard. Okay, and we are updating it. We are updating the each page. Okay, clear? So just use obj browse. Then since we are looping through each page, we need to use for each embedded page. When you use each embedded page, you must need to define the page list, and then we are capturing the PZ key to the parameter, and the same thing we are going to pass it to the obj open by handle. And so once this step is executed, it will fetch the corresponding operator details on this page, and we are updating the position and saving it back to the database. So currently for if you open this operator, so this operator does not have the position defined, right? So once you execute this activity and if you open this, you will see this is the system architect as a position, and for PNC dev one also. Any questions so far?
There we are using one.key, but like so we haven't defined that in the parameters tab.
You can do that. So when we need to exactly define in the parameters tab is, if we invoke this activity somewhere, and if we are passing that parameter, okay, from the different
Okay.
place, let's say, so for in the state and city, yeah, in those activities we define because we should be able to pass there like in the section. So we invoked in the property that time we passed it. So if you want to pass the parameters that time, it has to be appeared, right? So when it will appear when you define in the parameters tab. But here, so we are not passing the PZ dynasty from somewhere. Okay, so you can also define like this without defining under the parameters tab. Understand?
So
If you want to
key.
define,
So
you can define, but let's say if you want to pass this parameter PZ dynasty from somewhere, you must need to define.
okay.
Or else you can do pass current parameter page also. So that is like based on the requirement. If you want to see that parameter defined, so you need to do that.
So
So
key
in
is
that case,
Satya, so
yeah,
if we create the same activity in work class, then we can define this parameter, you mean, right?
no, it's not required, right? So if you
In
want
this
to
case,
call
required.
invoke, no, if you want to invoke this activity somewhere, and if you are passing the parameter from that, so I don't have uh, parameter. So what value I need to pass? I don't know here,
Okay,
right?
okay.
So somewhere I'm passing. So now we relate it to that scenario. Though while defining the parameter for state details, you don't know, right? So which country user will select? It should be based on that. It is not dependent on some other property here, right? So we are getting directly PJ key and assigning to the param, and same thing we are passing. We are not getting it from somewhere. But there, the state details is dependent on country. So whatever the country user select, that has to be passed as a parameter to the state. So you cannot, know at that point of time, so what user will select. Okay, the based on that selection you are passing it, but here it is not like that, right? Hmm?
and
So
Satya,
just
this key is a keyword, or we can use anything here like param.abc or param.xyz will
we
also
can use
work.
anything, like you
Okay.
can use it whatever it doesn't matter.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so param dot. So why we are putting is key, just it should be the based on the naming convention, right? So you can put param dot instance handle. You can put like this also. So whatever it. So whatever you put here, the same thing you need to pass. Let's say if I put param dot instance handle, this should be param dot instance handle. Okay, it can
Satya,
be any.
uh, yeah, one more
Yeah,
question. Like while defining the page, you mentioned code pega list. Can we also mention that py work page instead of yeah, first row operator
yeah. So
details
but
you mentioned?
no. So here, like it should be based on. So without defining this, also it will work in this case. Okay. So but it should be the same, like
No, my question is like, can we mention py work page instead of code pega list?
yeah, it will work. Like even if you remove this, it will work. But like it should be the same as clipboard section. Okay.
Okay.
So now just you define only pages without classes, also it will work. Now, so if you remove this, just like to understand, in some cases, uh, you know, okay. So here, like we define the PX results, so we must need to define it. Let me come to that point. Yeah. So this will be code pega list, right? So you need to define the same as clipboard structure, how it is getting generated. Okay. So in this case, like so py work page, we don't define uh, for obj browse. So py work page is the one which will create automatically. If you want to pass some values by taking from that, so you need to take it. Okay. So in
Okay.
this case, like operator details dot px results, so need to be defined. Okay. So otherwise, like it cannot identify the page.
Okay.
So why we define update operator? So we are updating the operator, right? So operator is also belongs to the data admin operator, right? Okay, and operator details. So which is getting created by referring to the code pega list. Okay, inside this code pega list we have a px results. Okay, so operator details dot px results, which is referring to the same again. So where we have the results. Okay,
Yep. Thank you.
so if in the code pega list, okay, so if we have the px results not in the code pega list, this should work. Let me put remove this and see. Okay, it's working, right? So that means, like, so in this is referring to the code pega list. So we have a px results, in the code pega list. If we put another class here, let me remove it. So what happened? So we haven't defined any class here. Okay. Just give me some time. Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, Satya.
Yes, Satya.
Yes, Satya, I can hear you.
Yeah. So now, so you can define like this. It will accept. So without, defining operator details dot px results, because if we put operator details dot px results, so operator details are referring to the code pega list. Okay, inside the code pega list we have a px results, right? So you don't define that. No, you don't need to define. Even if you define, nothing will happen. Okay, but without this, if we are not putting code pega list, then it cannot identify. So where the px results page is. Okay, clear? So best practice is, see now it is throwing some warnings, right? So if you define a class, if you define a page without class, now let me put like this. So operator details dot px results, and this one is this. That's our answer. Okay, so now okay, so always like when you define a page, sometimes if you don't know the exact class, so you can leave it. So you just can define the page and you can refer that. But if you don't know, if you know the class, then you need to specify that. Okay, in most of the cases we need to specify. So here, like we define the same way of clipboard structure, right? Any questions here? You understand, or any confusions regarding page and classes? So now,
Satya,
yeah.
so my confusion is like when to use that PY work page and when to use that code pega list.
Yeah. So whenever you use obj browse, and this page will be created always by referring to the code pega list. Simply, correct? Okay.
Okay.
So in that way we defined it. If you
If we
follow,
refer,
if you understand
sorry,
that, it will be easy. So if you want to pass some data from work page, you need to define that. But we will never create py work page by using the page name. Okay. So you invoke this activity somewhere where you are taking some of the details from py work page. So in that case, you need to define that also. Okay.
Satya, if we refer operator details to this work class, what will happen? Will it throw an error?
Operator details. So in the py work page, so we should not define like this. So inside the py work page, we don't have px results, right? Sorry, you mean like
Work class here.
so in the py work page, let me put pnc. You mean in this way? So this you cannot put like this. Okay. So since it is accepting, so but like so it will not work properly. So if we execute the flow, so here the px results are also available, either one of the class like a work dash, cover dash, or work dash in the base class. It will be available. So that's the reason it is accepting it. So but results will be available on the specified page. Okay, and so py work page you should not use here because so that will be created automatically, and when you put here the py work page content will be replaced. So
Okay.
you should not use the py work page in this case.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So if this property is available, then simply it will accept it, but in the runtime it will not work. It will not give you the exact result. Okay. So now let's execute this. Okay. So go to the actions. So we are updating all the operators, right? Okay. The operation completed successfully. So I will show you that in the tracer also, right? So position updated, right? So now if we go to the PNC dev one, it has to be you should be able to see the system architect as a position for that operator also. Okay, clear? So now let me show you through tracer. So now let's remove the py position. So even if it is there, nothing will happen, just it will replace with the same value. Okay. So before executing it, okay. Open the tracer and execute it. So now this is the execution process. Okay. So OBJ results you cannot see because we haven't defined any step page. So if you want to see those results, so you need to use the step page. Okay. So these will be available on this page, right? So you add one more step and you can put like this. Okay. So this is just to see the clipboard data. Okay. So how many records we have? 2 records, right? So peak cells of 1 and peak cells of 2. 2 times the loop has run. So where we assign, so if you see what will be the parameter value, let me zoom it. So here, so peak cells of 1, that means it is looping for the first time, correct? So if you go to the property set, so parameters will be available on unnamed page. So key is PNC dev 1. So now if you go here and if you see what will be the key, admin@PNC. So likewise, you will see for all the operators. So the same key is getting passed to the OBJ open by handle and it is putting the corresponding data. So PNC dev 1 related information. And just we use property set to update that value and saving back. Okay. So now clear, right? So if you have 10 pages, it will loop through 10 times. Simple. So now in the PNC dev 1, we don't have the system architect, the position, right? So now if you refresh it, you will see that value because it is saved permanently in the database. Okay. It will be little, complex to understand, but you practice it. So it will be, because like we'll see a lot of scenarios like this. Okay.
Satya, in the
Any
activity
question?
review, in the pages and classes tab, can you
Okay.
can you open that once, please?
Yeah.
So this operator details is currently referring to work class. So
Yes. Okay.
instead of code pega list.
Yeah, but still, like, in this class we have PXLs, right? So
Yeah.
this work class is referring to, if you look at directed inheritance, you see, work dash, cover dash, work dash, and at the rate base class. If PX results is available in any one of the class, it will accept it. So, and
Okay.
we are taking, so we are just, here we are only capturing PZ dynasty. Okay. So, but still, like, these results will be available on this page. Okay. If you look at this operator details dot PX results. So we are looping through this one, right? So we are looping through these pages, and we are just taking the PZ dynasty and opening that record again and putting on different page.
Yep.
Okay,
Got it.
but by default it is referring to the code pega list, so that is the best practice to put here. Okay, so in order to avoid the confusions,
Okay.
you just follow the same clipboard structure. So whenever you use OBJ browse, the defined page will be created by referring to the code pega list. You specify that only. Okay, in sometimes, let's say, you are not using the OBJ browse, but still, you need to define, the page list related things, then, you need to put appropriate class. It can be a different than, code pega list. Okay. So this you will understand, like, so when you practice more. Clear? So any questions? So now let's say you are fetching multiple records, okay, and it is looping through all and it is updating, right? Let's say if it doesn't fetch any record, so you are you know based on this condition you are fetching the records, right, operators, and if no operator found with this access group, then so results will be 0. So px result count, so you will see the px result count property on the page, like operator details page. Okay, so if it is 0, that means if it is less than 1, okay, so you don't need to execute all these steps, right? Okay, so in that case, like, what we can do is, if the px result count is less than 1 or equivalent to 0, then you can directly go to the some step and where we can update it. So you don't need to go inside the loop because you don't have any count, and go to the third step and display the message saying that no records found. Okay, clear? So we have here, we can use operator details dot px result count is greater than 0, continuance. That means at least we have one record. Otherwise, jump to the latest step, no records. Okay, it will directly come to the third step, so it will not go inside the loop. And here you can set the prop, you can display the message saying that, let's say I will assign to some parameter and no records found, like this. Px results count, not result count. So px results count operator details page is so correct.
I think in the
So now
pages and
see,
classes
yeah,
that should be
yeah,
changed.
since operator details is referring to this, So if you are looping through this, you will not see any issues. But let's say we are taking some of the properties, from operator details. Okay, if it is a code pega list, so you will have a px result count. The work class, we don't have that property. If that property is available in work class inheritance, then that is fine. You will not see this issue, right? You understand now? Px result count. Yeah, it is px result count. So px result count is available in code list class, but not in so work class or its directed path. Okay, so that's the reason it is throwing an error. So now let's pass PNC loan administrators 1. I'm putting some wrong access group. So you will not see any operators with this access group, obviously, right? So now let's see what will happen. This is a browser issue. So in the IE, you will not see this issue. So every time, so when you try to reopen the tracer, it is not coming. But in IE, it will work. See now, so we don't have, so we'll not have any operators here, and let's see what will happen. So how many steps it has executed? Only 2 steps, right? So where we define that in the second step itself. Okay, in the obj browse, then in the precondition, it is not, okay, has to. Okay, but it is not showing. Yeah, so it directly, it executed tar step. The second step is not executed. So if you look at param.error, no records found. Okay, so this is how we use obj open by handle. So if you have, if you know the pz dynasty, you pass that to the obj open by handle and open that record, and now you update the data. Okay, so it's very important. So now the similar way what you can do is you update the last name to the work objects. So we created multiple work objects by entering the only first name, right? Or for some cases we entered the last name. So what we can do is, if the last name is null, you update some name for all the work objects, and you see whether it is updating or not by opening the work objects manually. Okay, so now let's see if you want to know the work objects for this class. So when you click on this, it will show all these. Okay, go to the py work page and you will see this corresponding information. Okay, and you see the last name. So currently null, right? So you don't have any last name. So once you update the activity, once you update the last name through activity, you should be able to see the last. Okay, so that means like you are updating bulk data. Okay, so not only last name, so you can you create one property and you update some common data for all the work object, and you see by opening. Okay, any questions? So I thought of covering locking mechanism also, but it's already 8:40. So if you are okay, I will take tomorrow, but I'm not sure. Otherwise, like we'll connect back on Monday. Okay. So like so locking option is available for obj open and obj open by handle, right? Okay. Currently we are not locking and we are updating it data, and we'll discuss like so when to use these options. Okay, that will be covered in the next class. Okay, so if you have any questions, we can discuss, otherwise we can wind up for that.
Yeah, like what are the frameworks available for Pega?
So we have a lot of frameworks, like we have healthcare sales framework, you know, sales automation. So we have a CPM framework for call center applications. We have a smart dispute framework for banking dispute related applications. So we have a lot of frameworks available.
Okay, are they
So,
referred by any other name?
no, so let's say if you are working on healthcare application, so so those applications will be built on top of those frameworks. So we'll
Okay,
have some common functionalities already available in those frameworks, and you can use those functionalities without implementing again. Okay, so you will have all the portal screens, everything, just like based on the client requirements, you will have to modify those things and create you need to implement new functionalities.
okay.
So without framework also you can implement the application, but everything you need to build from scratch, everything.
But
But
Pega
yeah,
properties will be available, right?
yeah, obviously. So even if you consider the framework, that framework is also built on Pega rules only, right? So Pega rules will be the base application. Without Pega rules, you cannot have the framework also.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll discuss at the end, like what are the frameworks we have. So sometimes so they will ask, like what are the frameworks you worked on in your current project. Like if you are putting banking projects, so it must be built on some framework, right? So they will not ask much about that. So like you can go through the PDN and you can find the documents related to that. Okay. So I'm not sure whether you are going through the PDN or not. So you register into that, and so you will find the courses like System Architect Essentials, Senior System Architect, lot of courses. You can browse them. Okay, and you will find a lot of documents related to the frameworks also. Okay, so if you are putting your current project as healthcare, then so probably you can go through the healthcare related frameworks, and you can know some details about that, so that like if they ask you in the interviews, you will be able to answer it. Okay. Those you can find in the PDN. So I will share you some of the uh, framework documents. For in the CPM, so we have a separate course for customer service CSR framework, CS framework we call it, customer service. Okay. So you can go through that course and you can understand, like what are the functionalities providing through that framework. So you need to explore those things.
And we can have more than one framework.
Obviously, yes, yeah, we can have,
Okay.
but mostly we'll have only one framework. But sometimes, yes, you can have multiple frameworks also. Okay.
Okay.
So I will share you this link so you can refer and you can do the step by step. Okay. So you can also try this scenario. So without referring the link, right? So you just use the OBJ browse, then you are taking the PJ Dynasty and passing it to the OBJ open by hand. 4 steps.
Satya,
Yeah.
yeah, regarding that leave request application, in the leave details, there is a table, right? So in that, employee ID is the primary key because it's not mentioned in the.
No, it's
There are
not
three,
mentioned.
yeah, for the third table, leave details. Yeah, leave details.
Yeah, here also, yeah, this will be the primary key, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
this will
it's
be
not
the
mentioned.
primary.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, so here employee ID will be the primary. So you don't need to define
okay,
multiple employee IDs, right?
right, right,
It
right.
should, yeah, it should be unique. Okay.
Yeah, so okay, okay, fine. And regarding that auto that complete, right? So
Yeah. Let
how
me show you
exactly
that.
it works? Like,
Yeah, I'll show you that. It's like exactly, the Google search. Let's say if you, so how it is happening, the same, right? So if you type P, so it is, displaying all the, information that start with P. Okay, like this. So you will see the control. Let me take any section. This is control.
mm-hmm.
So the same way, same like drop down. So for drop down, so what are the sources we have? The same sources. Either it can be data page, report, definition, clipboard, And here you see match minimum such characters. Let's say if you put 2,
Okay.
okay, you understand, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so if you type 2 letters, then only it will display the corresponding. If you put 3, if it matches first 3 characters, it will display like that. Okay, and remaining the same as drop down. So you can use some source, let's say report definition, and you pass that, and pass the employee ID for the report definition, and it will fetch the corresponding. Okay, that's it.
Okay. So actually, I'm using activity.
Yeah.
So, so when we
Mm,
pass the employee ID, and again that based on the primary key that we are sending it to the project details also, right, to get the supervisor name. So in the same
for
activity, there will
autocomplete,
be like,
so you can, yeah, for autocomplete, you can use activity or report definition, but you can also use the data page, right?
okay,
So
maybe means I'll try that also, that option
for
also.
autocomplete source, you put data page, and so
Okay.
once you select employee ID, it has to fetch the corresponding details. For that, you can use the activity. On change of employee ID, okay, call the activity. For autocomplete source, you put database.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, so whatever you fetch employee information into some page, and you take the project ID from that page and pass it on to the second OBJ open. Okay.
So there will be two OBG open, like because for
Yes.
passing the secondary, that
Yeah.
foreign key.
Two. Again, like you
Oh,
need to fetch the project details from different table, right? Again, you need to
yeah, yeah.
use, yeah,
Okay.
that. So try this, like if you have any questions, also, like you ping me on WhatsApp, so we'll discuss. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. So then, like yeah, we will connect back on Monday. Thank you.